David's English podcast. Like, comment, share. Do you want to save more money but don't know where to start? Today, I'm going to teach you simple ways to budget and save money. In English, stay with me. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to David's English podcast. I'm David, and I'm so happy you're here today. In this lesson, we're going to talk about money. Now, I know money can be a difficult topic. Some people feel uncomfortable talking about it. But here's the truth. Understanding money is important. And if you're learning English, knowing how to talk about money in English is very, very useful. Today's lesson is special. We're going to learn vocabulary. Yes, but we're also going to learn something practical. We're going to talk about budgeting. That means planning how you spend your money. And we're going to talk about saving. That means keeping money for the future. Don't worry if these topics feel new to you. I'm going to explain everything slowly and clearly. By the end of this lesson, you'll feel more confident talking about money in English. And maybe, just maybe, you'll learn something that helps you in real life too. So, are you ready? Let's begin. Basic money vocabulary. First, let's start with some basic words. When we talk about money, there are some important words you need to know. Income. Income. This is the money you receive. Maybe you have a job. The money you get from your job is your income. Or maybe you have a business. The money from your business is also income. Income is money coming in. That's why we call it income. Money coming in. Now, the opposite of income is expenses. Expenses. These are the things you spend money on. When you buy food, that's an expense. When you pay rent, that's an expense. When you buy clothes or pay for transportation, those are expenses. Expenses are money going out. Let me give you an example. Imagine you work at a coffee shop. Every month, you earn $2,000. That's your income. But every month, you also spend money. You pay $800 for rent. You spend $300 on food. You spend $100 on transportation. These are your expenses. So we have income and expenses. Simple, right? Now, here's an important question. What happens when your income is more than your expenses? Let's say you earn $2,000, but you only spend $1,500. What happens to the extra $500? That's called savings. Savings. This is money you don't spend. You keep it. You save it for later. Maybe you're saving for something special. Maybe you're saving for an emergency. Savings is very important. Let me say these words one more time, slowly. Listen carefully. Income, the money you receive. Expenses, the money you spend. Savings, the money you keep. Good. Now you know the three basic words. Let's continue. What is a budget? Now, let's talk about budgeting. What is a budget? A budget is a plan for your money. It's very simple. A budget tells you how much money you have and how you're going to spend it. Let me give you an example with numbers. Imagine your monthly income is $3,000. Let's use the 50/30ths 20 rule. 50% of $3,000 is $1,500. This goes to needs. Rent, food, basic expenses. 30% of $3,000 is $900. This goes to wants, fun things, entertainment, hobbies. 20% of $3,000 is $600. This goes to savings or paying off debt. Now, I want to be honest with you. The 50/30/20 rule is a guideline. It's not a strict rule. Maybe for you, 50% for needs is not enough. Maybe your rent is very expensive. That's okay. You can adjust. Maybe you need 60% for needs and 25% for wants and 15% for savings. That's fine. The important thing is to have a plan. The important thing is to think about your money and make conscious choices. Let me repeat the rule one more time, slowly. 50% for needs, things you must have. 30% for wants, things you enjoy. 20% for savings, money for the future. Good. Now let's talk about how to actually start budgeting. How to create your budget. Creating a budget is easier than you think. I'm going to give you a simple, step-by-step process. You can do this today. Step 1. Calculate your income. How much money do you receive every month? If you have a regular job, this is easy. Just look at your paycheck. Write down the number. If your income changes every month, that's okay. Calculate an average. Look at the last 3 months and find the average. Step 2. List your expenses. This is important. You need to know where your money is going. Take a piece of paper or open a document on your computer. Write down everything you spend money on: rent, food, transportation, phone, bill, internet, insurance, everything. Here's a tip. Look at your bank statements from last month. This will help you remember all your expenses. Many people forget small expenses. A coffee here, a snack there, but these small things add up. Step 3. Categorize your expenses. Remember the 50/30/20 rule? Now you're going to put each expense into a category. Is it a need or a want? For example, rent is a need. Going to the cinema is a want. Groceries are a need. Buying lunch at a restaurant every day might be a want. Step 4. Do the math. Add up all your needs. Add up all your wants. Compare these numbers to your income. Are you following the 50/30/20 rule? Or are you spending more on wants than you should? Step 5. Make adjustments. This is where the real work begins. If you're spending too much on wants, you need to cut back. Maybe you can cook at home more instead of eating out. Maybe you can cancel a subscription you don't really use. And here's the most important part. Step 6. Track your spending. Making a budget one time is not enough. You need to check it regularly. Every week, look at your expenses. Are you staying on budget? If not, why not? Be honest with yourself. Let me give you another example. Let's say you make your budget and you realize you spend $100 every month on coffee. That's about $7 every day. You think, wow, that's a lot. So you make a change. You decide to make coffee at home most days and only buy coffee out on Fridays. Now you spend $50 a month instead of $200. You save $150 over a year. That's $1,800. Small changes make a big difference. Listening practice section. Now, let's practice listening. I'm going to tell you a short story. Listen carefully. After the story, I'll ask you some questions. Here's the story. Tom is 25 years old. He works as a teacher. Every month, he earns $2,500. Tom lives in an apartment. His rent is $900 per month. He spends about $400 on food and $150 on his car and gas. Tom likes going out with friends. He usually spends about $300 on entertainment every month. But Tom has a goal. He wants to buy a car next year, so he's trying to save money. Last month, Tom made a budget. He realized he was spending too much on entertainment. Now, he's trying to spend only $200 on fun activities. This way, he can save $100 more every month. Tom feels good about his decision. Okay, now let me ask you some questions. You can pause the video and think about your answers. Question 1. How much money does Tom earn every month? Question 2. What is Tom's goal? Question 3. How much was Tom spending on entertainment before he made his budget? Question 4. How much money is Tom trying to save extra every month now? Take a moment. Think about your answers. Okay, let's check. Question 1. Tom earns $2,500 every month. Question 2. Tom wants to buy a car next year. Question 3. Tom was spending $300 on entertainment. Question 4. Tom is trying to save an extra $100 every month. How did you do? If you got most of them correct, great job. If you didn't, that's okay. You can listen to the story again. I hope you're finding this lesson helpful. If you are, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up. It tells me you're enjoying the content. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We have new lessons every week to help you improve your English in practical, useful ways, practical saving tips. Now let's talk about saving money. Budgeting is important, but saving is the goal. So how can you save more? I'm going to share some practical tips with you. These are things that really work. Tip number 1. Pay yourself first. What does this mean? When you get your income, the first thing you should do is put money into savings. Don't wait until the end of the month to see what's left, because usually nothing is left. Instead, decide how much you want to save and move that money to your savings account immediately. Even if it's just $50 or $100, do it first. Tip number 2. Use the 24-hour rule. This is great for avoiding impulse purchases. What's an impulse purchase? It's when you buy something without thinking. You see something, you want it. You buy it immediately. The 24-hour rule says, wait. If you want to buy something, wait 24 hours. The next day, ask yourself, do I still want this? Do I really need this? Often, the answer is no. Tip number 3. Automate your savings. Many banks let you set up automatic transfers. For example, every month on the first day, $200 automatically moves from your checking account to your savings account. This is great because you don't have to think about it. It happens automatically. Tip number 4. Find free activities. Entertainment doesn't have to be expensive. Instead of going to the cinema, watch a movie at home. Instead of going to a gym, go for a run in the park. Instead of meeting friends at an expensive restaurant, have a potluck dinner at home. There are so many ways to have fun without spending money. Tip number 5. Review your subscriptions. Most of us have subscriptions: Netflix, Spotify, gym memberships, magazines. Look at all your subscriptions. Ask yourself, am I really using this? If not, cancel it. You'd be surprised how much money you can save. Tip number 6. Use cash for discretionary spending. Discretionary spending means spending on wants, not needs. Here's a strategy. When you go out, take only cash. Leave your credit cards at home. When the cash is gone, you stop spending. It's a simple way to control yourself. And here's one more important tip. Number 7. Set specific savings goals. Don't just say, I want to save money. That's too vague. Instead, say, I want to save $5,000 for a vacation next year. Or I want to save $1,000 for an emergency fund in 6 months. When you have a specific goal, you're more motivated. Let me tell you about my own experience. A few years ago, I wanted to save money to buy a new laptop. The laptop cost $1,100. I made a plan. I decided to save $200 every month. I put that money in a separate savings account. I didn't touch it. After 6 months, I had $1,100. I bought the laptop, and I felt so good. Why? Because I planned, I saved, I reached my goal. You can do the same thing. Listening practice section. Let's do another listening practice. This time, the story is a little longer. Listen carefully. Here's the story. Sarah and Mike are married. They both work. Together, they earn $5,000 per month. They want to buy a house in 3 years. To buy the house, they need to save $30,000 for a down payment. That's a lot of money. So Sarah and Mike made a budget. They wrote down all their expenses. They realized they were spending $600 every month eating at restaurants. They decided to cut this in half. Now they spend $300 on restaurants and cook at home more often. They also realized they had 5 streaming services. They canceled 3 of them and kept only 2. This saved them $30 per month. With these changes, Sarah and Mike can now save $800 every month. In 3 years, they'll have $28,800. It's almost enough for the down payment. They're very happy with their progress. Now, let me ask you some questions. Remember, you can pause and think. Question 1. How much money do Sarah and Mike earn together every month? Question 2. What is their goal? Question 3. How much were they spending on restaurants before? Question 4. How much do they want to save every month now? Take your time. Okay, let's check the answers. Question 1. They earn $5,000 per month together. Question 2. They want to buy a house in 3 years. Question 3. They were spending $600 on restaurants. Question 4. They want to save $800 every month. Great. I hope you're following along well. Common mistakes to avoid. Before we finish, I want to talk about some common mistakes people make with money and budgeting. Mistake number 1. not having an emergency fund. Life is unpredictable. Sometimes unexpected things happen. Your car breaks down. You get sick. You lose your job. If you don't have emergency savings, these situations become very stressful. Try to save at least 3 to 6 months of expenses in an emergency fund. Mistake number 2. Using credit cards without a plan. Credit cards can be useful, but they can also be dangerous. If you use a credit card and don't pay the full balance every month, you pay interest, and that interest can be very high, sometimes 20% or more. If you use credit cards, always pay them off in full. Mistake number 3. Comparing yourself to others. This is a big one. Sometimes we spend money because we see other people spending money. Your friend buys a new phone, so you want a new phone too. Your neighbor buys a new car, so you feel pressure to buy a new car. Stop. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone's financial situation is different. Focus on your own goals. Mistake number 4. Not tracking your spending. Some people make a budget once and then never look at it again. That doesn't work. You need to track your spending regularly. Check your budget every week or at least every month. And mistake number 5. Being too strict. Yes, budgeting is important, but don't be too hard on yourself. If you make your budget too restrictive, you won't follow it. It's okay to enjoy life. It's okay to spend money on things you love. Just do it consciously. Do it with a plan. Okay, everyone. We've covered a lot today. Let me quickly review what we learned. We talked about basic money vocabulary, income, expenses, and savings. We learned about budgeting and the 50-30-20 rule. We discussed how to create your own budget step by step. We practiced listening with 2 stories. And we talked about practical ways to save money and common mistakes to avoid. I hope this lesson was helpful for you. Remember, talking about money in English is a useful skill, and understanding how to budget and save is important for everyone, no matter what language you speak. Think about it like this. Imagine you're planning a trip. Before you go, you think about where you want to go, how long you'll stay, what you'll do. You make a plan, right? A budget is the same thing, but for your money. When you make a budget, you ask yourself some questions. How much money do I have? How much do I need for rent? How much for food? How much for other things? And how much can I save? A budget helps you understand your money. It helps you make better decisions, and it helps you avoid problems. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I had a friend named Maria. Maria had a good job. She earned good money, but at the end of every month, she had a problem. She didn't have any money left. She didn't know where her money went. She felt stressed. One day, I talked to her. I said, "Maria, do you have a budget?" She said no. So we sat down together and we made a budget. We wrote down her income. We wrote down all her expenses. And you know what? Maria was surprised. She didn't realize she was spending so much money on small things. Coffee every day, online shopping, going out with friends. After we made the budget, Maria started to pay attention. She didn't stop buying coffee or seeing her friends, but she became more aware. She made small changes. And guess what? At the end of the month, she had money left. She started saving. That's the power of a budget. It's not about restricting yourself. It's about understanding and planning. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this lesson, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. It really helps me create more content like this for you. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a lesson. Thank you so much. The 50/30ths 20 rule. Okay, so now you understand what a budget is. But how do you actually make one? There are many ways to budget, but today I want to teach you a simple method. It's called the 50/30/20ths rule. The 50/30ths 20 rule is very popular. Many people use it because it's easy to remember and easy to follow. Here's how it works. You take your income and divide it into 3 parts. First, 50%. 50% of your income goes to needs. Needs are things you must have, things you cannot live without. What are some examples? Rent or mortgage. That's a need. Food. That's a need. Electricity, water, transportation. These are needs. Basic things for living. Second, 30%. 30% of your income goes to wants. Wants are things you enjoy but don't absolutely need. What are some examples? Going to restaurants. That's a want. Buying new clothes when you already have clothes. That's a want. Netflix or other entertainment. Hobbies. Going to the movies. These are wants. They make life enjoyable, but they're not necessary for survival. Third, 20%. 20% of your income goes to savings and paying off debt. This is money you don't spend now. You save it. Or if you have debt, like a credit card or a loan, you use this money to pay it off. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I read every comment, and I love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, take care, keep learning, and remember, small steps lead to big changes. Goodbye, everyone. David's English Podcast. Like, comment, share,